Good evening. My name is Dr. Joe Ozaki, or Dr. O, or O as my friends in the elementary schools call me. I am the proud superintendent of Region 14 schools. In this video, this budget presentation is for the 2019 to 2020 school year. I was hired approximately 9 months ago, and before I started the work of a superintendent, the board chair, the board in general, asked me to go out and listen, really listen to what the towns, our region had to say. From the FFA to the arts, from our scientists and our mathematicians to our English composers. They wanted me to find out what it was that Region 14 is and what Region 14 could aspire to be. Listening to these people over the past 9 months, listening to students, listening to the elders of the community, and listening to the board, I got a really good sense, at least I hope it's a good sense, of what Region 14 could be. The first thing everyone asked and brought to my attention was, please be here for a while. I'm trying my best. And so far it's been an enjoyable ride. The second thing that they asked me to be was to be financially pointed, financially focused on what the needs of the district are between wants and needs. This budget represents not what we want, but what we need. Every person will find something that they like in this budget. This budget looks at the towns and says, okay, how much can we afford? We realistically viewed that as we put the budget together, the whole central office team with all the administrators and the board. I got a lot of input, and I appreciate every person's input. Thank you very much. Before we go any farther, I could not have put this together without all your help, and I did get superb help. Secondly, I realized that what we have here in the district needs to be maintained. We have many, many things in this district that are very good. FFA, the arts, music, the visual arts. We have some science that just really is beyond what people would normally think of small towns. We have English composers who I heard some poetry when I was visiting the middle school and the high school that were far beyond what we would normally expect to hear in students of that age. So we have it going on. So how do I make a budget? Well, we brought everyone together the first part of December, and we asked the administrators to come in and realize that this is going to be a tough budget year. Yes, we know it, and I know it. We have the funds that are due on the renovated to new high school. We have special ed needs. We have new contracts. We have the superintendent's budget. And all those things collide at once. And that, unfortunately, as much as I tried to make it work, it was very difficult. But with that said, using the information that I was given and provided all over town, I was able to put together with my staff a workable budget for the 2019-2020 school year. The next part of our presentation is going to be on staffing and enrollment in the Region 14 public schools.
Good evening. I'm Kim Culkin, Director of Human Resources for Region 14 schools. Every year we share the many celebrations of our Region 14 school community with you. While there are many listed here for you, I'll share some of the highlights. As you'll see, some of our Mitchell Eagles highlights include pre-K to 5 teachers and students working with their new instructional leader for science through the new standards and their science club. The instructional leaders for literacy have coordinated guest readers, including a visit from Miss Connecticut and other fabulous authors. 5th grade students and the Woodbury Food Bank ran the largest can drive ever in recent Mitchell Elementary School history. Meanwhile, up the road at BES, our Bulldogs celebrated Veterans Day with a ceremony and breakfast, which included a question and answer session. The PTO sponsored a silent auction that raised over $12,000 to support Bethlehem Elementary students and staff. Student council members attended a Connecticut Leadership Academy and learned about topics regarding leadership, diversity, and communication. Woodbury Middle School Warriors engaged in their new Leadership Alliance program, learned digital music, drumming, and ukulele in their new music courses this year, and engaged in their new culinary course. The Middle School Warriors also gave to the community through fundraising, volunteering, at the soup kitchen, and at the food bank. Our Nonnewauk Chiefs celebrated having more than 76 AP scholars named by the College Board. This is 52 more compared to 2017. Nonnewauk also boasted a 2018 National Hispanic Merit Scholar among the class of 2019, and expanded AP offerings to include AP Research, the Capstone Diploma Program, and AP Calculus BC. Last year, 232 students took 479 AP exams. The Chiefs were rated number 6 in the state of Connecticut for the percentage of students participating in advanced placement, and realized a 7% growth in AP scores of 3 or better between 2015 and 2018. At Nonnewauk High School, we also added American Sign Language, online Latin course, an AP Research and AP Calculus B course, and launched the first high school wingman program designed to promote a positive, supportive, and inclusive school climate. Coming this spring, our senior citizens will again be invited to Nonnewauk High School for our annual Spring Luncheon and Musical. This year's production is Into the Woods. The Woodbury FFA chapter had 6 winning judging teams compete at the National FFA Convention last fall, the most teams in the same year from any one chapter in the country. Nonnewauk High School local food production and sustainable food production classes grew and donated over 500 pounds of vegetables for the Woodbury Food Bank. Nonnewauk also started their first student-led Athletes Council. The mission is to promote sportsmanship, increase school spirit, and improve all aspects of the athletic program at Nonnewauk. The Nonnewauk field hockey and volleyball teams both won the Berkshire League Championships. Region 14 schools also implemented a district-wide school counseling program this school year for our pre-K through grade 12 students, and implemented a district-wide social worker services program providing resources and counseling to students and families. Each year, as part of the budget process, the superintendent provides you with enrollment projections. As you're aware, this year the district engaged in a district advisory council study. The following slides were provided through that process by Malone and McBroom. The upcoming graphs illustrate for you the trends in enrollment over time and specifically indicate an overall decrease of student population expected for the 2019-2020 school year.
So now we'll talk about how the budget process impacts teaching and learning. On the first slide, you can see previous investments in the budget process has given us an overall growth trend that you can see on the following slide. Our students have seen growth in both English language arts and math. With this previous budget and the one upcoming, we've been able to develop the following curriculum enhancements on this slide. There's new curriculum and courses in the following areas: music, art, comprehensive school counseling, information literacy, science, middle school culinary, middle school capstone, AP research, AP government, AP computer science principles, AP US government and politics. On the next slide, you can see some of the programming enhancements we've been able to do to the budget process. Through last year's budget, we were able to develop elementary science labs. And those science labs were launched in a partnership with Flanders to create a short experience for our students. The new previous budget would allowed us to develop a middle school schedule, which afforded our students to have more instructional time. We were able to offer more AP courses for students at the high school. We were able to develop a better alignment between middle school and high school science. And we were able to bring in more robust math resources and professional learning for our teachers. And finally, in this slide, you can see our focus with this present budget that we're proposing. We have 3 highlights for next year. One is to develop social and emotional learning. We aim to connect the comprehensive school counseling curriculum and the health curriculum. Secondly, we hope to develop global citizens by developing a world language curriculum and a business curriculum. And finally, the third thing we're looking for in our budget process is the continued support of principal leadership training as well as teacher leadership training.
My name is Wayne McAllister, Region 14 Schools Director of Finance and Operations. The annual budget process starts in October of each fiscal year and culminates in what you see before you today. The budget process includes requests from all administrators, and the contractual obligations are factored into it, resulting in what you see presented to you at a 7.85% initial increase. The administrative team and the superintendent review all requests, meet with all administrators, review what was proposed, and determine what can be brought forward to the Board of Education for their review. You'll see two separate reviews, each culminating in decreases. The final increase is what's presented to you this evening. What you see before you now is a historical perspective of a 10-year average of budget increases, adopted budgets, and percent of change. The average percent of change is 1.45% over that 10-year period. Tonight, we're asking for substantially more than that, but you'll see at the end of this presentation that we're breaking it out into an operating budget request and a request for the debt service for the high school project. It's one vote, but we just want to show you that our 1.19% increase in operations is below our 10-year average that we've been given. The next slide indicates salaries, both for certified and classified staff. We're asking for $2,842 more than was adopted in 2018-19. We've achieved that small increase by netting out the contractual increases of $352,000. We have some staff additions totaling $41,300, and we have staff reductions that are almost $400,000. So we've lessened the impact of contractual increases and almost a 0% request for salaries. Employee benefits. Benefits make up about 16% of our total budget. If you take into account the salaries and benefits, they're about 73% of our total budget. We had a 3.95% increase in our medical rate. We've had some reductions in staff, and so the overall increase is about $98,000, or about a 2.24% increase net. The pension contributions requesting $10,100 less. Our investment rate is up, rate of return as well, and the annual required contribution is down based on that factor. We have requesting $5,200 more in FICA Medicare. We need $6,500 more for workers' comp insurance, and we reduced the request for unemployment insurance for $5,000. Purchase services. Purchase services are services that we go out and contract for. They're both instructional and non-instructional. Under instructional, we have field and athletic transportation up about $19,000. Tuition special ed is tuition for outplaced students. Regional 14 students outplaced in other education facilities. That's up about $173,000. Other purchase services that are increased total about $145,000. We have a technology increase of $50,000. HR services of about $80,000. Software support of $11,000. In all others, there's a net change of a minus $14,000. On the non-instructional side, that includes student transportation up $36,000. Special ed transportation, based on the fact that we've got tuition out of districts for special ed, that's increased. In the complementary transportation to go with that is a $124,000 increase. Special ed legal fees, we're asking for $17,000 more, and we're asking for another $15,500 for the auditors. We have both the high school project, and we have the contract coming to an end with our current firm. We're anticipating an increase overall. Supplies and materials. Again, both instructional and non-instructional. Instructional side, we're looking for less than was adopted in 1819. We do have an increase in instructional requests for library books of $15,000. We have food service assistance of $4,000, which is a federal government requirement. Athletic supplies at the high school is up $3,000. Office supplies at the high school is up $2,500. Athletic supplies at the middle school up $1,000. And overall, instructional supplies are down, requested down $27,000, largely based on a reduction in the science supplies. Mike Rafferty and his group have determined that they've been able to provide support for the new curriculum at less money. Non-instructional, diesel, bus transportation is $10,000. Natural gas is up $15,000. In the gasoline maintenance department and maintenance supplies, down $7,500. Capital outlay. Capital outlays of largely building improvements and equipment. We're requesting $218,000. We want to continue our roof replacements at Bethlehem, $98,000. At Mitchell, the roof replacement section that is at $70,000. Also, oil tank removals, $25,000, and another $25,000 for the VOAG tank removal. Equipment. The majority of the technology equipment is a lease purchase. We have $424,000, half of which is for the Chromebooks. As you know, we have Chromebooks for all students. We're requesting $25,000 for a first year musical instrument replacement and enhancement program. And again, I spoke of the technology upgrades before, is like $50,000.
This is Dr. Joe Ozaki again, and I'm going to list for you how busy Mike Molson and his team have been over the past year. Most of these maintenance projects have been done during the summer as to not be a disturbance to anyone, but they are extensive, and we are still working on his multi-year plan so that makes sure everything gets attention, but it does not cause a great deal of expense all at once to the towns. This year, the maintenance team either worked on or refurbished, one, a 10,000 gallon tank replacement at Bethlehem Elementary School. Two, replace this antiquated tank with a 4,000 gallon tank. At Bethlehem Elementary again, replaced and inspected heat pipes to assure that they met all safety requirements. Number four, repaired a small portion of the Bethlehem Elementary School roof over the first and second wing. There is more work left to be done. Number five, Bethlehem Elementary School. 5 classrooms, floors were leveled and then replaced by VCT floor tiles. Number 6, Mitchell Elementary School. 10,000 gallon oil tank removal. Removed tank to our RID district of old tank hazards. Mitchell Elementary School repaired sidewalk by the gymnasium. Number 8 is Mitchell Elementary School replaced backstop fencing. Middle School installed gym separating curtain that comes down from the ceiling. Number 10, Woodbury Middle School removed and replaced the hallway flooring in the portables as you enter central office. Number 11, Woodbury Middle School set up culinary arts room, added various equipment. Number 12, Woodbury Middle School replaced exhaust fan. Number 13, Woodbury Middle School pumped septic system. Number 14, in Noanawag High School, VOAG, they rebuilt the storage container area on the ball field for maintenance equipment. Number 15, maintenance and custodial staff successfully stayed ahead of the renovation in order to do their summer cleaning. Great job, ladies and gentlemen. 16, items left to address on the maintenance list in capital improvements. 1, oil tank removal at Woodbury Middle School. B, oil tank removal at VOAG. C, continue on renovating roof at Bethlehem Elementary School. D, 3 floor scrubbers will be needed. E, Mitchell Elementary School roof will be needed to be redone. F, a gator for groundskeeping. G, Mitchell Elementary stage curtain and sound system. And finally, H, renovate tennis courts.
As you can see in those previous slides, that we have been good stewards of the property that we're taking care of and we're responsible for, and the money that you've given us to maintain those properties as well. So we continue to do that, and we look forward to continued years and upgrades to all our facilities to provide safety and security for our students. The next slide it covers dues, insurance, and debt service. A substantial increase, no doubt about it. It's the largest budget driver we have this year. Part of the debt service is coming online. Last year we bonded $12 million in a general obligation bond to fund the initial construction project. There's an additional allotment that's going to be required over the next couple of years, but this is the first phase of debt service coming online. So our request of $1.3 million includes dues and fees of $64,000. It's down $1,800. Property insurance is up $2,400 to $157,000. Athletics insurance is up $600 to $12,600. And debt service is up $925,760 to $1,137,760. This slide breaks out the changes in the debt service fund. Currently, debt service is $212,000. As I stated before, previously, that $1.1 million is the debt service obligation for this year. A large increase, represents 2.72% of our budget increase and request. Therefore, in closing, I just want to reiterate the total increase of 3.92% is broken up 1.19 in operations and 2.72 in debt service. Total request $35,319,886. The 3.92% increase in budget.
Staffing changes as a result of the Region District 14 PK through 12 2019 through 2020 budget. Staffing reductions. HR Director, located at Central Office, 1.0 FTE. Classroom Teacher, Mitchell Elementary School, 1.0 FTE. Classroom Teacher, Woodbury Middle School, 1.0 FTE. Library Media Specialist, Woodbury Middle School, 0.5. Additions for staffing. American Sign Language, Nynawag High School, 0.4 addition, making the position full-time. And music at Woodbury Middle School, 0.2.